You've just handed me some pictures. May I show them?
Yeah, sure.
So tell me who this is.
This is baby Omar, 2-month-old. He was murdered in an airstrike hit his family home in Gaza.
When did he die?
On the 8th of October, an airstrike hit my uncle Abdel Nasser house. The whole house was demolished. 10 members of my family, my uncle.
How many?
10 members in this bombardment, but I lost 30 people of my family in Gaza. My uncle Abdel Nasser, his wife Soha, and their sons Ahmed, Marwan, Asad, and Muhammad, Yazan, 10 years old, their daughter-in-law Ward, and her 2 sons, Abdel Nasser and Omar, baby Omar. You have his photo. Yazan is 10 years old, and the baby Abdel Nasser was 2 years old. They were all killed in this bombardment. The whole house was demolished in just a matter of seconds.
The Israeli Defense Force tells us that strikes are targeted. Why would their home have been targeted?
You tell me, what did baby Omar do? Baby Omar, we celebrated his baby shower just a few months ago. I don't know. You tell me why. I can't tell baby Omar, what did he do to this world? He just started his life. Yazan, 10 years old. Abdel Nasser, 2 years old. What did they do to this world? To be killed in this way. Their bodies was never found. Omar, he was found between his mother's arm. She cradled him until his last breath. I don't know what to say.
How many members of your family have you lost?
30 until now. And it's
30?
Yes, and it's still going. Every day I wake up checking my phone, just in case if we hear bad news about another family member murdered.
Omar, I can see that you are also visibly upset. Tell me about your family.
Yeah, so I have lost 40 family members.
40?
40, yeah, 40. Like 2 families were wiped up. So I'll tell you their names. So Fatima Mukhallalati, she was the first female judge in Gaza. She was 75 years old. She was at home with her husband, Fahmi al-Najjar, who was 77 years old, with their son Muhammad, who was 40 years old, and their son Firas, who was 35 years old. Muhammad was a lawyer, and he, by the way, he filed a case to the International Criminal Court against Israel for the illegal siege in Gaza. Firas was a computer engineer, and Firas and Muhammad, their wives, their children, because they are not numbers, Muhammad's children, Fahmi, Omar, Abdurrahman, Fatima, Yusuf, Firas's children, Fatima, and Yaman, Sarah, Ubaida, and his wife, Samaha Kila, and Muhammad's wife, Khamis Shawa, and another family, my cousin, Hiba Salim Ammar, her in-laws, her children, her father-in-law, her mother-in-law, and everyone. What we are talking about is a huge, Israel is calling it a target operation, but we, the Gazans, we have seen these targets. My brother is a plastic surgeon. He's right now at a Shifa hospital. Israel has been surrounding the hospital since Friday. No one was allowed to come inside the hospital or leave the hospital. And my brother was telling me, Omar, we have to evacuate patients from the operation rooms. He was working at St. Thomas Hospital here in London.
Just across the river here?
Yeah, and he was doing microsurgery. He was trained here in London. He moved to Gaza in February 2023. He was telling me, Omar, for the last years, Gazan people did not have the chance to have plastic or reconstruction or microsurgery. And because, you know, the number of people injured, people were losing their legs, their hands, their people were killed because there is a lack of this specialty. So my brother said he was working very hard, 16 hours a day in the last few days, not few days, it's been 6 weeks. He was working there. And he said now when Israel has told the hospital to partially evacuate, so Al-Shifa Hospital have more than 10 buildings. It was built before Israel was created. It was created in 1946. The hospital had 800 bed capacity. It had 4,500 patients. My brother said they have converted the recovery rooms to be operation room. But regarding my brother's story, he said he was doing 16 hours operation for some patients, and now because Israel has asked everyone to leave, he said his patients have scared and they escaped from the hospital. He said, I know they will lose their legs, they will lose their hands because they have scared and left the hospital. So most of his patients has left without completing the operation, without cleaning the operation, without having any assistant to move to South Gaza. Then now in the last 5 days or 4 days since Friday, my brother said there is no electricity, no oxygen. And he said before doing an operation, if we want to do the full, to make the patient fall asleep, they need oxygen because their body operation will not be operating because there is no oxygen. He was saying, I was seeing the patients crying because we cannot do the full, I don't know what's the name of, like, you know, to make them fall asleep.
Anesthetic.
Yeah, so he said that we don't have oxygen. So we were seeing the patients crying and we were doing the operation. This is about...
In pain.
In pain. So, and you can imagine this doctor was working here. He said at St. Thomas Hospital, he used to have 40 plastic surgeon consultants who are all like, you know, trained, all have the fully equipped. I told him about the NHS crisis. He said at St. Thomas, we don't have NHS crisis. He said, St. Thomas have founded the microsurgery. So he said, we never run out of any equipment. He said, if we want a £5 million equipment, we will get it. He moved from this to Gaza, where he was getting some British surgeons who traveled to Gaza in the last few months, and he was planning to have the first international plastic surgery department.
Does he feel safer or less safe now that Israeli soldiers are in the hospital today, do you think?
I mean, it's obvious he doesn't feel safe because hospital is not for militant or for soldiers. Hospitals are independent places where no army person should be inside from any side.
And no terrorist?
Of course, yeah. So my brother said since he's been in the hospital, he never seen anyone who is militant from the Palestinians or anyone with a gun. And he said the hospital is open to everyone. So the hospitals, like, you know, I'm sure you have seen the pictures, the journalists are inside the hospital and see everyone come in and out. And he said, so I'm not here to defend anyone, but I was so disappointed to see lots of media outlets in the last few weeks. They were justifying the Israeli attacks on the Palestinian hospitals. Yeah.
Not on this programme, obviously, not on this programme. You've still got family in Gaza. Where are they now?
My mom and my two brothers, my sister and their families in Rafah now. They did evacuate from Sheikh Ajlin, which is by the beach near Tal El Hawa. Some of my family were evacuated to Al-Quds Hospital, but just 3 days ago, they had to evacuate again to south. My family evacuated many times, seeking safety. They went to Deir el-Balah first and then Khan Yunis. And at last, they ended up at Rafah.
Are they hoping to cross into Egypt?
No, of course, no. It's the borders is closed. They can't.
To Gazans?
Yeah.
It is closed to Gazans at the moment, although diplomacy could change that. What would you say to politicians in the West?
At the moment, the first demand is to cease fire. This is the most important thing, to cease fire now, not tomorrow, not in an hour. Cease fire now, because people is dying. My family and everyone in Gaza, they are suffering, not only the airstrikes and the bombardments, no, also they don't have a clean source of water, not enough food. And some people, I spoke to my uncle 3 days ago when he evacuated from Al-Quds hospital, and he told me that for 10 days, he was only drinking sips of water and dates. That's all what he had. And the children were in Al-Quds hospital, little children, like less than 2 years old, they were on biscuits and milk. That's all what they had. Okay. And when they ran out of everything, they had to evacuate to south.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but please do come back and talk to me again whenever you'd like to. Whenever you want to, just let us know. And we are very happy to have you back on the show. Just remind me of this little one's name.
Omar, 2 months old.
2 months old, and he died on the 8th of October. 10,000 people have died, we're told, in Gaza. A child dying every 10 minutes. Thank you.